Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
See, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Holy shit, we're back.
We are back. It has been a while. It was my fault. All the believers out there sending me a lot of messages on Instagram, on Twitter, saying, come on, Mike, what the hell? Give us another podcast. And we're here. We're back. And back on a regular routine. I was traveling for a long, long time. But I'll tell you what, Lewis, I know we tried to bang one out last week, the Friday before. It didn't work. The internet at the Airbnb where I was staying was terrible. Very, very nice house, by the way, but terrible Wi-Fi connection. Couldn't even really use Instagram. That was the issue there. But we did them all over the place. I did one in London. I did one in Toronto. I did one in Clitheroe. You know, I was really going above and beyond to deliver to the loyal believers. I really was. But I'll tell you this, Lewis, and I know you want to get a word in, but I fucking enjoyed the break. And I needed the break because for so long now I've been pushing hard week after week after week, UFC stuff with the podcast and all that type of stuff, which, by the way, it's not hard work. I'm not going down a coal mine. I know that. But still, it was nice to just have a break and do nothing. So now I'm really excited to do the show with you, Lewis. I wish you would show a little enthusiasm on your face, Mr. Too Cool for School. But I'm fucking pumped, doggy.
Whoa, wow, we're back with Bisping. Whoa, can we get some sound effects? Michael Bisping said it best, maybe? I don't know, something. I'm very excited. There we go. I'm very excited to be back with you, Mr. Bisping, and I'm very happy to have the show back. And to be honest with you, sometimes you do need a break to recharge the batteries. Got a lot of stuff going on, and it's not hard work, but it's not easy work to do a podcast and to come up with things to talk about for sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours a week. It adds up, and sometimes you're like, shit, dude, mentally you're stressed, and you want to be excited to come into anything. And I think what you're saying is essentially you take an 8 or 9 day break, you come back, and now I'm fucking super pumped to get back into it. And you guys in turn are going to get a better show for it. Whereas it sucks for the past week and a couple days to not have a show. You're getting a better version of the show now because of that break.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, mixed martial arts is the gift that keeps on giving because there's so much to talk about right now. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of big fights, massive pay-per-view this weekend, 2 title fights on. Not going to talk about that today because we're doing 2 of the shows through the week, so we'll talk about them there. There's so much been happening lately. There was bare knuckle stuff at the weekend. We'll get into that. Conor McGregor is out of his mind and still making headlines. Lewis, I see you with your hand up. Go ahead. Rule 7. You didn't interrupt. Well done.
It's very nice. This is nice to have this Skype. We can just look at each other and see our hands. I just want to take a moment because we haven't done a show since this happened, and this is the first show out since I released my comedy special, Luis J. Gomez Presents Luis J. Gomez. I just want to take a moment to say, first of all, everyone who's already purchased it and said nice things about it, thank you so much. The amount of fucking feedback I get from our British fan base, I think they are really severely lacking dirty, edgy, ballsy comedy in England because I get messages from people being like, thank you for doing this because we don't get any of this anymore. And I really appreciate it. And I know there's a massive fan base that listens to this show. If you don't know, go purchase the album or the special, Luis J. Gomez Presents Luis J. Gomez. It's available in video or audio format, whether it's iTunes, Google Play. You can purchase directly from gasdigitalnetwork.com. It's just a few bucks. I think you guys will really like it. People really like it. It's very dirty. Don't show it to your mom or your kids. But I think you'll dig it. I think you guys really will. So that's it. That's what I want to plug.
No. I'm rightly so. And you will dig it, to quote Lewis, everybody there, or you'll enjoy it, whatever you want to call it. Lewis is absolutely hilarious. Not just saying that to plug his special. Check it out. If you want to laugh your ass off for an hour, go download that special. 90 minutes. I don't know, whatever, however long it is.
It was an hour. Bisping hasn't watched it. He just proved it right there.
I haven't watched it. Jesus Christ, what do you want from me? I talk to you on a weekly basis. I've seen you perform many, many times. I will watch it. I'll tell you this, Triple Threat, martial arts sensation movie of the year. I still haven't seen that yet. And that's come out. It's available on demand. Seeing as we're plugging shit all over the place, then fuck it, I'm doing it too. Triple Threat on demand. Go watch it. I haven't done so. I hear it's really good. I will make that this week. But I was just in England for a month, almost a month. I'm a proud Englishman, of course, and I have British blood running through my veins. Get your Starbucks, Lewis. I see you waving frantically for your lack of coffee. I'll be doing the same. My wife's about to walk past. Coffee, please, babe. It's so good to be back. I have put on quite a bit of weight. Okay, the English food. There's a stereotype that English food isn't very good. Well, I want to tell you, coffee, please, darling. I want to tell you right now that stereotype is BS. The food is amazing. I had some amazing meals out there. I tried to stay in shape. I tried to go to the gym. Where I was staying in Clitheroe, there's not really good gym access. There really isn't. And then the food is not really conducive to a healthy diet. And then after a while, I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to put some weight on. I'll deal with it when I get back to California. You know what I mean? So I just threw caution to the wind, dessert with every meal. Everything in England is served with chips or fries, as you guys call them, fries. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. The food was fantastic, but as I said, not conducive to a slim waistline.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. This is my problem is because now I go back and watch the comedy special. I filmed it in December, which I should have just waited. I should have waited till the summertime because every summer I get in shape. Every winter I get fat. And dude, I'm so fat in this comedy special. And now it's getting warm weather again, and I have my diet in order. I don't think we've spoken about my new diet. I have a new diet, Mr. Bisping.
Last I heard, you were body beasting all over the place.
I stopped body beasting. Me and the body beast.
What is the fad now?
We had a little bit of a divorce. Fad? It's not a fad. I am doing intermittent fasting.
Okay, so let me tell you, I also am going to start intermittent fasting. My body hangs on to a lot of water. Okay, yesterday I got back. I was very bloated. I had a nightmare journey from London. Absolute bloody nightmare. It really was. But we got home eventually. I got on the scale yesterday. I was 224 pounds, right? Which for me, it's pretty heavy, you know, considering I was about 212, 215. This morning on the scale, after a day, I drank a gallon of distilled water because that flushes out all the sodium and toxins. When you're trying to make weight for a fight, that's what you do all week. You drink a gallon of distilled water a day. I drank a gallon of distilled water yesterday, did a little Peloton class, get on the scale this morning, 215, lost 9 pounds in a day.
That's it, baby boy. That's
intermittent fast that.
Well,
fast that.
I've never done this type of diet, okay? And there's different versions of this. I'm doing right now the one where it's I'm feasting, quote unquote, for 8 hours and then fasting for 16. So I can eat from 12 to 8. I switched it. Now I'm really doing 7 hours. I'm eating from 1 to 8 p.m. That's it. And then the rest of the time I can't eat anything. I can only drink water or black coffee. And that's that. And I haven't really changed anything else. I sort of eat what I want. Like I'm not like I'm just, the difference is I'm a little bit more conscious because it's not a cheat day where I'm freaking out to shove pizza into my face or cake into my face. I know if I want to have ice cream tomorrow, I can have that. It's not a big deal as long as I do it during the hours. So it's just been way more manageable. Not cutting out all the sugar. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the idea, Lewis, though, is that you do still try and eat well for the 8 hours. You don't stuff shite in your mouth for 8 hours. You still eat well. You still eat good. Rebecca's been doing it for a long time, and she's seeing the results. She's down to like 125 pounds now, which for her is really thin. Also, my father-in-law was telling me, because they do it now as well, apparently, and don't quote me on this, if any would-be doctors, if I'm getting this wrong, I apologize, but I think I'm going to get it right. It helps prevent cancer. Because when we were cavemen, we didn't have access to food all the time. And when we're not breaking down food in our bodies, when we're not digesting it, our body is able to work on the free radicals and the oxidants that create cancer. Apparently, if I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. But it does definitely help prevent cancer in the long run.
That's
right, babe?
That's really interesting, actually. And that sort of makes sense. You know, I like it. I like it. Usually what I do is I do some sort of crazy keto diet. I cut out sugar. I starve myself. I get myself crazy. The difference is I get hungry around 11 a.m. I'm really hungry, right? And then I eat just a normal lunch. You know, if I have a sandwich, I have a sandwich. If I have a salad, I have a salad. And then I have a little snack in the afternoon. Then I have dinner, and it's pretty early. Really what I used to do is I would eat a late night snack. I would eat early. I'd have a snack in between that. I'm cutting out probably 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day pretty easily just by doing this without really changing much else. So I think in combination with working out and you're right, changing things up and moving other things around in the diet to make it healthier. This is just sort of the beginning, but this is way more manageable than anything else. I'm down to about 13 pounds since I started doing this.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, not trying to shit on your parade, but I'm down from 10 pounds since yesterday, so. I lost 10 pounds in a day, okay, by drinking water. So beat that, Mr. Intermittent. No, that's great. Good luck. And I'm going to do the same. I'm cutting out sugar. I'm cutting out fatty bullshit, carbs, alcohol. I'm going to try. I am going to try. And I'm going to do the intermittent fasting.
This is how you know it's gotten really bad, because usually he says, I've cut out alcohol completely. Now he's just going, I'm going to try. So Michael Bisping is probably hammered right now. If he's saying he's just going to try, it's a problem.
No. See, like in England, I was drinking a lot, but I don't mean a lot, not to where I was drunk. But most of the times we would eat out in pubs. If we're going to eat in a pub, then I'm going to have a pint and none of this Coors Light bullshit, like a real beer. You know what I mean? Some nice bitter, some IPA, some local brews, So, I had a few of them. And of course, every pub does sticky toffee pudding. And if you've never had a sticky toffee pudding, may I suggest you get one in your life ASAP, because they're bloody good. You can't really get it in the States. Sticky toffee pudding, one of my favorites. So I had a lot of them. I had a lot of beers, and it's not, it's not good for the waistline. But there you go. So keep an eye on us. One of us is gonna get slim and ripped, and one of us is gonna look exactly the same for the next year. I don't know which one is gonna do which, but
we'll see what happens there. That's awesome though. Good for you, man. I know you're very excited about getting back with the family, which is awesome. How did the kids like going out to England? Is it a chore for them at this point? Because now they're leaving their friends, their college. Your son's going to college, your daughter's, in high school, senior year, whatever it is. It's sort of like
definitely kind of a chore for them. I mean, they were excited to come back. I mean, this was part of the reason we wanted to go back. We were applying for our green card, so for years they couldn't leave the country. They were kind of prisoners in America. So I wanted them to come back, reconnect with where they're from, their roots, and remember who they are. They're English people living in America. Of course, they have American accents now, and it's been a long time since they were back, and they couldn't believe it, to be honest. They were like, wow. And neither could I, to be honest, because it's my hometown, it's where I'm from, but as I'm driving in, I'm thinking, holy shit, this is it. This is it. I'm not sure I could move back there now. You know what I mean? Nothing negative. It's a lovely, quaint, beautiful place, but it's not exactly popping off. You know what I mean? Like, we tried to do the podcast, and I showed you on the camera. I looked around, and I was surrounded by fields and sheep, which incidentally, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, I saved the lives of 2 sheep at the weekend, Lewis. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see that. What happened?
If you follow me on Instagram, just watch the video. Watch the video. I'm going out. I've got my Yves Saint Laurent suede shoes on to go down to the pub. And I walk out. It's all muddy. And there's a bunch of sheep in the field. And there's three sheep with 3 lambs. And one of the lamb being the inquisitive little thing. There you go. Put it on. I can't see it. Show me.
Here we go. They have he'll do that. So there's a little lamb.
There's a little lamb. Mary had one.
Oh, is this you?
I can't see what you're watching.
There you go.
Look at it. There we go. What a guy.
So it was stuck in like a thing?
It was stuck on the other side of the fence, and we went and toured a field. Look at the mother looking at me like, oh my God, I love that guy. What a guy. And get ready for it. Yeah. The celebration.
Can I tell you the problem with this?
Tell me the problem.
I mean, yes, you're a hero, but you also
shit on my parade.
I'm not going to shit on your parade. It's great. It's a net positive. You saved the life of a baby lamb, and it was fucking beautiful. It actually, there's a tear coming to my eye right now thinking about it. But you also said, hey guys, catch me on video saving this lamb. I'm going to show everyone what a great guy I am.
Now listen, here's the thing. On Instagram, some people did say that. They gave me shit for it. I had no idea. I was getting in the car. I looked over. The sheep were in distress. Meh, meh. There was a lot of that going on. There was a very small one, a high-pitched lamb. Meh, meh. But I'm thinking...
No, it was higher. It was higher. Hold on. Do it right.
Meh, meh. Right. Meh. It was really, really, really in distress. and I'm like, fuck, I've got to help this lamb. I've got to help it. I can't rest. I can't go off to the pub and have my 3 beers, still able to drive on my sticky toffee pudding.
Obviously.
Knowing that of course, knowing that sheep, because we went and toured a farm the day before. Fuck me. I mean, the boring stuff we do these days. And they told us if they're separated from their mother with the cold winter right now, they will die overnight. And I'm like, well, I don't need that evil on me. Okay, so I'll do it. And I just set about it like a man possessed, like a modern day superhero, if you will. Not all heroes wear capes, Lewis. Some wear Yves Saint Laurent shoes. Okay, and I climb over 2 fences. I trudge through a lot of muddy soil. Maybe stood in a little cow shit here and there. Picked up the little bastard, set him free. And it was only when I returned back to the family, my wife said, "Oh, I just filmed the whole thing." I went, "Oh shit, did you? Send that to me. I'll put it on Instagram." Boom. Okay. Not my fault.
That's what I would.
Superman was not my fault that Superman was caught on tape.
Like, your wife has a vested interest in you looking like a nice person. I don't trust her either. Okay, I don't trust anyone in the family. If this came from some random person.
Yeah. Callum's heckling me from the background, talking crap as well.
If this came from some random third party that saw you doing it, I'd be like, oh my God, Michael Bisping, a man of the fucking sheeple. But no, this came from your family. This is part of the Bisping unit. You guys you're a fucking business. I've been to the Bisping mansion. I know what's going on here.
Listen, whoa. That shit doesn't clean
it.
At the very least, at the very best, it's a half mansion. We know this, Lewis. We've been through this. But yeah, but it is weird because now, I think I spoke about, I'm going to try and not eat mammals, because we went and toured around these farms and we saw the cows. The cows are very friendly, very personable. I connected on an intellectual level with many of them. We had quite the chat for some time.
Yeah.
And very cute. And the lambs, of course, so I've cut out all lamb. I don't eat beef now. I'm going to try. I may have had some beef last night, but slow baby steps, let's not rush it.
Baby steps. So you'll do like veal. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Anyway, so that was that, and I'm glad to be back in sunny California. So
I was just out there. I'm coming back out, I think, the 20th through the 24th. Tell me you're not going to be somewhere off traveling.
Saving lambs. Changing the world. I'll check my diary right now. April when?
April 20th through 24th. Coming back out. I was just out. We met. I planned an entire fucking trip.
Passover.
Yeah, it's my son's going
Easter, 22nd, Earth Day. Bro, I'm all about it. I'm here. Let's go crazy. Let's go wild.
Let's
record some podcasts.
Yeah, we'll do some Easter podcasts, which would be fun. Yeah,
it's a big day for me. Easter is a big deal for me.
Yeah, love the sunny California. Every time I come, I want to stay. If I could just figure it out somehow, if my son could just get lost. I don't want him to get hurt. If he just somehow we lost him, it would hurt for a couple months. But after that, I'm like, you know what, Bisping? I'm moving out to sunny California, baby boy.
Well, it's the cycle of life. Children come and go. Just like those lambs. Some make it, some don't. If you were to lose your child in a parking lot next to a very, very busy freeway, and that meant that you were young, free, and single to roam the California lifestyle, it is what it is, right?
Then here comes Bisping picking up my kid, putting him back in the pen.
Right, but make sure I film it.
Of course. Mike, real quick, let's talk about Quip, which is such an amazing sponsor. I love Quip. One of the most important things we do, and we do it every day, twice a day, is we brush our teeth. The problem is, I didn't even realize this, most people aren't doing it properly. Quip is the best electronic toothbrush in the world, created by dentists and designers, and it's designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and even enjoyable, Mr. Bisping.
Yeah, absolutely. There's this weird stereotype that English people don't have great teeth. But check out these pearly whites, Lewis. They are a thing of beauty. And I'll tell you this right now. Ever since I started brushing with the Quip toothbrush, I've got a feeling they're going to continue looking as impressive as they are now. And you know why? You know why I love this so much? I love Quip because they are backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Now, I don't know if you know about numbers, but 20,000 is a lot of people. Now, here's the thing. Most people, they go gentle on their gums. You know, people brush too hard and things like that. And some electric toothbrushes are too abrasive, but not the Quip one. It has the perfect amount of pressure. It has a built-in timer. So listen, you're going to brush your teeth for at least 2 minutes. Every 30 seconds, it sends a little thing to remind you to switch up sides and to change position. Up to 90% of us don't brush for a full 2 minutes or even clean evenly throughout the teeth. So this takes care of all that. It's got multi-use cover. It mounts to your mirror, unmounts to slide over your bristles for the ongoing brushing. They send you new heads every 3 months for just $5. And, this is just we're scraping the tip of the iceberg here, Lewis. There's so many advantages.
Well, that's the thing. Most people don't pay attention to when they bought. Think about this. You're listening to this right now. When did you last buy your last toothbrush? You don't know. You have no idea. You have no clue. This Quip takes all the guesswork out of it because dentists recommend you changing your brush head every 3 months. They send you a brand new brush head every 3 months. You don't have to think about it. It's just $5 every 3 months that you're paying for this, which is pretty damn incredible. So right now, what you can do to get involved with Quip is it starts at just $25. If you go to getquip.com, that is GetQuip.com/believe, you get your first refill pack absolutely free with a Quip electric toothbrush. Once again, that's getquip.com/believe.
Yeah.
Your mouth is going to thank you. You're going to love brushing. It's changed brushing my teeth. It is such a fun experience now. So once again, that is getquip.com/believe.
Very, very simple. All right, guys. All right, Lewis, where were we? All right, so we got some notes from Harrington. Well done, Harrington. He brings the notes. He brings the heat every time. We've waffled enough bullshit. Let's actually talk about something people may be interested in. I see at the top of the notes, and okay, I agree to talk about it because it seems that it is dominating the world right now. Wrestlemania. Okay, I'm not a fan. I don't like professional wrestling. I know you do. I know everyone does. I know on Twitter and all that stuff is a buzz with it. So I'll roll with the punches. I'll discuss fake fighting. I'll discuss a sport or a show, which is basically what children do, but it's grown men on a mass level. We'll break it down. I can't wait to get into the technicalities of it all.
My problem with this is, Michael, you're going to say this, and then, our master plan of you getting into the WWE and being this, British-born, wrestler, this is not going to come to fruition because you're going to take this audio and then they're going to be able to see what this guy has no respect for the art of pro wrestling. So just fake it a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it to be the ultimate heel. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I walk out like, I don't even like this sport. No. You can all go fuck yourselves. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, this guy's really good. So anyway, what's the deal?
I don't give a shit about it, but Harrington watched it because he's a pro wrestling fan. He's a big kid. So what's the deal? How does it relate to MMA, Harrington?
Just a big old nerd. Well, former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar kicked off the show. His advocate, Paul Heyman, started the match saying that they were going to get out of there early if they weren't going to main event the card, and they were heading on a flight to Las Vegas where they ultimately respected his client, something along those lines, alluded to coming back to the UFC, and reports were right after the show, UFC is targeting Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Cormier for their August card.
Very cool. So Brock Lesnar, he got beat. I saw that DC did tweet something like, you suck, Brock Lesnar, or something like that. All right, well, that's good. I'm happy for DC. He deserves it. He's been... we know what he's achieved. I don't need to go through it. DC's the man. He's a great ambassador for the sport. He coaches a kids' team. DC's just a genuinely good guy and a great fighter and an asset to the UFC. So I want to see him get those big paydays. It's weird. People talk shit. Oh, it's bullshit, man. He's holding up the division. But it's natural. Would you not want to fight an easier fight for 3-4 times the money that somebody else may generate? Come on. And then if he wants to, he can still fight those people after he beats Brock Lesnar, which I'm assuming he will with relative ease. And then he can take on the Stipes, the Dos Santoses, the Francis Ngannous. That's one I'd love to see. But thoughts, Lewis, doggy, baby boy?
What up, baby boy? What up, doggy? Look, how much is he holding up division? When was his last fight? It wasn't even that long ago.
November against Derek Lewis.
In November, it's not holding up the division. I mean, it's a few months. I've spoken about this a lot. So have you. You have clear criteria. If he wants to wait for a big fight and they're negotiating shit, it's been a few months. If it's been a year, if it's been 16 months, 18 months, and you're like, God damn, dude, fight. What are you doing? But it's a few months, and he has every right to field the options and to see what's out there. Now, separately from that, having nothing to do with Daniel Cormier, I'm just over Brock. He got busted for steroids the last time, I believe, right? If I'm not wrong about that.
Yep.
So something it was something weird about that in the Mark Hunt fight. I don't believe that he's a clean fighter. I don't believe that there's any upside besides the fact that you're going to get a few more eyes on the sport for that pay-per-view. I think that anybody at this point, anybody who's ordering a pay-per-view because Brock Lesnar is there is already aware of the UFC. So the potential of turning those fans over and turning them into hardcore fans, I think you've squeezed that enough, and it's just it's a backward step in my opinion. I think we should be looking at putting the absolute best fighters that have given their lives to mixed martial arts forward and giving them the bump, and the UFC can create a star out of almost anybody that can win fights, and that's what we should be looking for.
Well, I totally agree with what you're saying, and it's kind of an interesting one because, as you say, Lesnar's fought a few times in the UFC. Now he was the champion. He got destroyed by Cain Velasquez. Last fight, he beat Mark Hunt, but we all know Mark Hunt can't wrestle. On the feet, he can take out anybody on his best day. But wrestling-wise, he was always going to lose that fight if Brock Lesnar used his wrestling, which he did. Then, of course, he tested positive. As we all know, you nor I am a fan of anybody that does that. But you're right. What were the pay-per-view numbers for UFC 200? I know they were big, but it was UFC 200.
Yeah.
So, and as you say, anybody that's going to watch Brock Lesnar in the UFC now, if they followed him there every time, you've got to think that they kind of know that he's not very good at MMA.
Yeah. It's just short-sighted. I get you'll get him another 500,000 pay-per-view buys that you wouldn't have had. But at what cost? You have God Harrington.
Well, it looks like Lesnar's minimum's about 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, I believe it. He's huge. He will always sell pay-per-views very well, but I just don't know, how much is that worth it when you want hard. You want to, in my opinion, you want to turn people that don't know what the sport is into casual fans. You want to turn casual fans into hardcore fans, right? That's sort of like the process and the life of the MMA fan. And I just don't know if you're turning casuals into hardcore fans by getting Brock in anymore. I don't know. Go ahead.
But why wouldn't that work? Why wouldn't that work if you know the 500,000 pay-per-view buys come in and the rest of the card is awesome? Let's say it's a stacked card like a lot of those monster cards are, and these people watch and they're like, "Holy shit! This is my first time buying a UFC pay-per-view. I'm watching the next one because this was fucking awesome." Yeah, okay. Brock Lesnar got destroyed, but it was actually really cool seeing what someone small like Daniel Cormier can do to him and all these other great fights. And as you say, that is part of the allure of Brock Lesnar for the UFC, to put him on the card and pay him the money that, no doubt he gets paid, which I'm assuming is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of people there. I think that number is smaller and smaller each time they bring Brock Lesnar back. And who knows? This is all just kind of hearsay, us talking out of our ass, but I just don't see the upside in that. I think that they should be really focused on, forget the freak show fights, forget all the ones, the CM Punks and all the guys that, it's just bells and whistles. So what's great about the sport is that it's the greatest sport in the world. You don't need the bells and whistles.
Absolutely. And then also another thing that's making the headlines that I've seen on the news this morning, a fellow Hall of Famer like myself, Bret the Hitman Hart. Is that correct? Bret the Hitman Hart? See, I know a thing or two about wrestling. Bret the Hitman Hart getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and then some wild, rabid fan climbs into the ring and takes him down.
Yeah, pull it up and make sure Bisping can see it as well. This was kind of crazy. Harrington, while he's pulling that up, how old is Bret the Hitman Hart?
Believe he's 52, but let me double check that.
50, but 52 in pro wrestling. Pro wrestlers age like dogs.
Sorry, 61.
Yeah, but can I just say that I beat him into the Hall of Fame by 12 years
easily.
Took him till he was 52. Took me 40 years old. Bret.
Yeah, but
Shame.
Look, you never had the wars that Bret the Hitman Hart had.
What a loser. He can't get into the Hall of Fame until he's 52. You're pathetic. No wonder that fucking skinny little dweeb took you down.
knocks him down, and then immediately, 15 wrestlers jump in and start to beat the shit out of this guy. It's really loud.
Okay.
It's
All
really
right,
loud,
all
guys.
right. Enough of that noise pollution that I couldn't see yet again. Great job. Can't wait for Shannon to come back. Thanks, guys. Love you loads. Yeah, I saw it. Little dweeb takes on a wrestler. Wrestler gets beat. That's what I see. You know what I mean? These guys can't fight. But do you know what the big thing is to me? Is that they really need to up their fucking security game, because that was at the Brooklyn,
Barclays Center?
What's it called? The Barclays Center, right?
Yeah.
And forgive me if I'm incorrect, but isn't that where Conor McGregor and co. stormed the building and threw dollies through the windows? You know, I'm just saying, Barclays Center, security team, you got to step your game up.
Yeah, Brooklyn, they really need to fucking... That is a great point. It's a very dangerous place to perform in, apparently. Look, all I know is I grew up watching WWE. You know, the old Bret the Hitman Hart would have fucking slapped that guy in a sharpshooter. That would have been that. Easily. Nothing. But, you know, you see what happens with age. It was sad. Sad. Did he get hurt? No, right, Bret Hart?
No, he was fine, but Travis Brown was in the ring for that.
Yeah,
and
Travis Brown beat the shit out of this guy. Travis Brown, he was there for Ronda Rousey, and a bunch of wrestlers. You just see them carrying the guy out and just hitting him in the face over and over again. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Well, you know, to be honest, the guy got what he deserved. You know, and I'm all for that. A bit of rough justice. If you're going to run in, and all jokes aside, you know, Bret the Hitman Hart is obviously a long career in that sport, whether it's real combat or not. You know, the stress that their bodies go under is unbelievable. It really is. 52 years old, probably got all kinds of injuries, and for some little shit to run in and do that, I'm glad that he got a few digs in. I'm glad that he got punched a little bit and made to pay the consequences for his actions. And not to mention I think he's been charged and he's out on bail, I read somewhere. But
he
as I say,
charged.
that is where that's where Conor did his whole thing. And if I'm to believe what I'm reading in the newspapers, Harrington, or the link that you sent me, I think Conor's actually... What happened at the weekend? What's he been up to now?
Well, it looks like there are unconfirmed reports right now, but he was allegedly involved in a Dublin bar fight.
Another thing you got in trouble for?
Hello?
Yeah. Well, you sent me the link. I don't know why I do this, because Harrington never plays ball. I like set him up for him to say it and then never does. You sent me a link to the Irish Mirror saying... Do you want to read this out, somebody? Because I haven't got it in front of me. You guys have multiple staff, computers galore, screens. My only screen, I have a screen and a microphone.
Former UFC champion Conor McGregor is being investigated by Ireland's police force, the Gardaí, over allegations he assaulted a bar patron in Dublin on Saturday. The report in the Irish Mirror stated that McGregor is accused of fighting at the Marble Arch pub in Dublin's Drumnaga neighborhood. That outlet quoted a number of sources regarding what allegedly took place.
Right.
You want me to keep going?
Go on.
That's what Harrington tried to read.
Yeah, no, because there was an interesting part that I read where the guys apparently came up to him and they were talking a bit of shit. Apparently, they were saying that Conor was showing off in the pub or something. So a guy said, we need to have a word or something. And then some guy went up and said, that Russian beat the crap out of you or something like that. And then allegedly Conor punched him in the face or whatever. Does it say whether or not the guy pressed charges?
It does not.
He should, because he's going to fucking jump onto the suing Conor McGregor train. Conor McGregor needs to stop hitting people. He needs to just understand, it is a problem. I understand people are going to make an example out of you. They're going to try to take advantage of you, but this guy's going to fucking ruin his career because he keeps on getting into trouble for violent, crazy shit. And it's a problem. That's going to be a problem, you know? And yeah, I don't know. It's just it doesn't seem like every week it's a new thing with Conor. It seems like he's just not ultimately a good dude.
Well, I don't know about that, but now it seems that there's 3 cases which are pending, which I don't care who you are. That's never good. We've got the phone, we've got the alleged sexual assault thing, and now we've got this assault as well. So that's 3 criminal cases against.
And the Brooklyn thing you just mentioned before. So now that's gone now officially. I guess that's done. Gone. But all of these things definitely add up. No,
absolutely, they all add up. But the thing is, this world that we live in now, I mean, I was going to make a joke of it before. I said, well, you chat shit, you get banged, But if you go up in a pub and start talking shit to Conor McGregor, a guy that's known to be volatile, a guy that is a multiple division world champion in the past, but you got the balls on you to walk up to this guy and start talking shit and saying, you got hammered off that Russian and blah, 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 and trying to embarrass him in his local pub in front of people that he knows. You know what I mean? What do you expect to happen? Now I'm not saying Conor was correct in doing that, but the guy wasn't also correct in verbally assaulting him either. Now, again, it looks like I'm making excuses for him. I'm really not. You got to control yourself. I learned the hard way. I had some problems with the law when I was a kid. There we go. My light just ran out of battery. I'll just turn that up. Yeah. I got to remember to charge the battery of that light for next week or the next show. I'll open this. A bit of natural lighting. But anyway, so where was I?
Yeah, we were just saying that the guy's kind of a dick too, and I agree. I mean, I've seen this happen, multiple times where you just get guys that whatever is they're drunk, they want to show off, they think that this guy's not going to do anything because he's a star, he's a celebrity. I'm just saying, if I'm Conor McGregor's friend, lawyer, agent, manager, whoever it is, I'm like, dude, just fucking walk away every time. You have people that are actively, when you're that massive of a star, if you want to go out and party like the way Conor does, apparently, because he's out every weekend in a new thing getting hammered, just expect there's going to be some other drunk dickhead there that's going to try to show off in front of his friends or in front of his girlfriend, and you're going to keep on getting arrested, you're going to keep on getting sued, and you might have trouble getting into the country at one point.
Oh, absolutely. You'll have trouble. I have trouble all the time. Yesterday, I flew from Manchester to London. British Airways very kindly cancelled our.
What happened there? I saw you went to social media. You were like, fuck this. Did you get your voucher?
I did the US Louis J. Gomez, or I tried to do the Louis J. Gomez. Go to Instagram or Twitter, kick up a fuss. They did reach out to me, but they didn't help me. So I wrote a very scathing complaint. So I had a flight at 2:30. Down to London for 3:30, fly out of London at 5:30 to LA. They canceled the 2:30 flight. Therefore, we had to fly at 8:30 a.m. We're going to get to Manchester an hour before, that's 7:30. We had to return the rental car. Basically, we had to get out of bed at like 4 a.m., go to Manchester, and then we had a 6-hour layover in Heathrow Airport, which is a long time. Now, I had a business class ticket because the UFC paid for it. My family were in premium economy. A lot of people were talking shit on the tweet saying, why aren't your family in business class with you? It's like, well, I'm not paying $40,000 for 4 flights, okay? I don't care how rich you are. If you're going to do that, you're a moron. They're in premium economy. One of them is 8 years old. It was like he could fucking lie there and, it was bigger than his bed. Anyway, I went up, I said very kindly at the lounge. I said, hi, listen, I've got access to the lounge. British Airways cancelled my flight. I've got my family here. We've got a 6-hour layover. Can they at least come in the lounge with me, please? Seeing as you guys did cancel our flight.
Right.
No. And they were also very rude. They were very, very rude to me. So I took to Twitter, and then they reached out, and they tried to help, to be fair, but they wouldn't give us access to the lounge, which is all I wanted. I didn't want free flights. I didn't want credit. I didn't want anything like that. I just wanted my family to be able to join me for the 6 hours and sit in a little bit of comfort.
And nothing. Did they offer you a voucher at the very least? Nothing.
But anyway, we were talking about McGregor. We went off on a tangent there. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to learn. Go split screen, please, Harrington, or Bobby, whoever it is. When I was younger, I made plenty of mistakes. I got into a lot of fights as a kid, and ultimately, you got to get a hold of your emotions. You can't go around doing that because you're going to pay the price, and eventually, when you do enough shit wrong, you pay the ultimate price and you lose your freedom. You go away to prison. And I hope
or you get hurt. Something really dumb happens. Somebody said that Kelvin Gastelum was in an interview and he was like, dude, I don't like the beef between Conor and Khabib because it's getting so volatile and these guys are getting so passionate. These guys are taking it to another level. And what he said was, he was like, I fear, and I am paraphrasing, but he said, I fear that somebody's going to end up getting shot at the end of this. And I don't know if that means that somebody in their crews or just somebody like these crazy fans are sometimes like super engaged. And it's about, country, pride. So you get a bunch of British guys that are hammered and a bunch of Russian guys that are hammered. And there's just fights happening in the streets around this one fight. It's all kind of crazy. And he made that statement, which is kind of, I don't think we've ever seen a fight beef go this far and get this crazy. And I don't know.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, no. What was that? What was that little soundbite? I liked it. I mean, I don't know what it was.
Sorry, I found the quote from Kelvin Gastelum.
Oh, you found the quote. Do you want to put? You want to actually play it?
Play it. Go ahead.
That you can cross in prize fighting as far as smack talk because there's
Of stuff that's happening now. Yeah.
I don't want to bring up those guys because it's about you right now, but
I just think there is some lines that shouldn't be crossed, and this rivalry going on right now is escalating to a point where it shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? And I feel like if it keeps escalating the way it is, somebody's gonna end up getting hurt or shot or something. I truly believe that.
Is family one of those lines that people shouldn't cross, do you think?
All right.
I think so. You shouldn't mess with people's wives. You shouldn't mess with people's family.
Yeah.
He's right. You shouldn't mess with people's lives. You shouldn't mess with their religion. Split screen, please. Religion, wives, family, all that type of stuff. But they have been doing that. You know, I mean, of course, last week Dana White stepped in, didn't he, and said they're going to speak out to both camps after, what was it? Conor said, your wife's a towel or something like that. And then there was all this racist backlash. It wasn't really racist. That's just Conor trying to talk a bit of shit. I get how it's obviously perceived as racist. You know,
it is a little bit, but I don't think it's as hate. The problem is when you make a joke like that. God.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think that was his intention. Of course, it's offensive to Muslims, but I think he was just trying to poke fun at Khabib and offend him.
I think he's trying to bother Khabib, and I think people, instead of going like, okay, he's obviously doing that just to piss this guy off, and he knows that's going to be the thing that gets at him. Other people will become outraged for it, and they're taking it very personally. It has nothing. If Khabib wasn't Muslim and his wife was, you know, he was Christian and his wife was wearing a fucking whatever, he would just go for there. Whatever the lowest hanging fruit there, I think Conor would just attack, and whatever's going to sort of get the biggest reaction. The problem is you have people that are extremely passionate about this, and you're attacking a culture, you're attacking a religion, also a religion where people fucking do crazy shit in the extreme versions. So it's like, it's not that crazy for some crazy Muslim fan to say, fuck Conor McGregor, dude, he's attacking my culture. I'm going to, you know, do something crazy. I understand what Kelvin's saying. What do you agree with Kelvin? Do you think, from your understanding, is it that crazy, or is that a little blown out of proportion?
No, I think maybe he's got a point. I was kind of sidelined by the hair a little bit. I was struggling to make sense of what he was saying.
It looked like he put a face on.
It looked like he stuck his fingers in an electrical socket. You know, his hair was ching. But anyway, whatever. God bless you. Good luck this weekend, Kelvin. He's got a point because, as you say, you know, I mean, Khabib is Muslim, and fanatical Muslims are crazy and do some crazy stuff. And if he continues, but there's crazy people in every walk of life, you know. Yeah. So, you know, I wasn't just slandering Muslim people there, far from it. But, you know, it's maybe getting a little out of control. I know that Conor then tweeted out, oh, listen, your wife's a goat under there, and then he quickly deleted it. If I was Khabib, I would have tweeted back, no, Conor, you're mistaken. I'm the GOAT.
Boom.
Remember? I made you top it in round 4. I'm the GOAT.
That would have been great.
Khabib really missed a trick there. He really missed a trick. Khabib, step into my office.
Khabib needs a writer. Why don't you just start writing his Twitter? Yeah. You could be his Twitter manager.
Is that what you think my life has come to, Lewis? I need now to be Khabib's Twitter manager. Jesus Christ.
Imagine your mouth on Khabib Nurmagomedov's body. Imagine that. The perfect fighter.
Nah, it sounds really weird. I don't know what's going on. Imagine my mouth all over Khabib's body.
Hell yeah.
What is going on? Sexy time.
Yeah.
My God. Anyway, so
Conor
listen.
Do you see that he teased?
Conor's out of his fucking mind, right? Let's just be honest. He's going out of his fucking mind. What is he doing? If you're listening, which I know you're not, just take a deep breath, buddy. Enjoy where you're at. And stop. Try and stay out of trouble, mate, because it's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go bad, quick and fast. You know, he's got a target on his back. Jesus Christ, I have a target on my back, and I'm nowhere near the level that Conor's at. You know, we do. You know, he goes out there and if he's going to swing punches in a pub, if he's going to, you know, steal phones and stomp on them and whatever else, you can't get away with that behavior in this, you know, I'll say it, pussified day and age. You can't do that,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if fair play, you know, you're going to talk some shit, then maybe, you know, back in the old school days, you could get away with that. But it's year 2019. And you can't go around acting like that. I wish we could, but we just fucking can't. So you got to control your emotions and keep your anger in check. Go ahead,
Also-
Lewis, you may speak.
Also, Conor, you know, you watch guys like Mike Tyson, who was on top of the world for a while and then lost it all. Now he's made a comeback. He's doing the one-man show. You know, he's got a different career now and a different path. It seems like he's doing great. But, you know, Conor, I'm looking at it from the outside perspective. It's like, well, Conor's lost his last few fights. It's not like he's like this like undefeated fucking fighter who nobody could beat him. It's like his value essentially is going down. There's no way you can't slice that in any other way. He's less valuable of a commodity as a mixed martial artist today than he was 2 years ago. I guess somebody could debate that, but I don't think so. He could lose it all. It's like he seems to spend money a lot. He seems to be partying a lot. He seems to be doing crazy shit, fighting off lawsuits. Conor McGregor, you know, does he have as much money as Mike Tyson had at the top? I don't think so. Right now, I don't think so.
No.
Mike Tyson was and he lost it all. So why couldn't Conor necessarily go down that path if he keeps on fucking up and lose it all?
Well, multiple things. I think, and I don't know Conor's finances at all, but I would say that he doesn't have the money Mike Tyson had back in the day.
No way.
But you got to remember that Tyson had a lot of his money stolen by Don King, and he had a lot of sharks and shady people around him. I know Conor's manager, Audiotar, obviously, friend of the show and friend of mine. He's a very, very honest, trustworthy guy. So there's got to be nothing like that going on there. And of course, he's got a lot of other stuff, probably gets paid a ton in sponsorships. He's got the whiskey and all the rest of it. It's still not Mike Tyson money, but you're saying he spends a lot of money. You know, interest, you know, you can fucking live off the interest alone, a very extravagant lifestyle. So I don't really think that's the issue. The issue is, you know, being distracted, getting arrested, having lawsuits, and not being in the octagon generating money, because eventually you can't spend it all. But anyway, all right, guys, let's just take a quick second to hear from one of Lewis's personal favorite products, BlueChew.com. If you like sex, well, you're going to like BlueChew.com. Blue Chew offers men a performance enhancement for the bedroom. Wouldn't you like to last longer and go an extra round? Well, Blue Chew makes the first chewable with the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis. Chewables work faster than pills. In fact, up to twice as fast. You can take Blue Chew on a full or an empty stomach. It's cheaper than those other two that I mentioned, Viagra or Cialis, and it only takes a few minutes to fill out the simple form online. So therefore, no doctor visit, no awkward conversation, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It will be shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. And Blue Chew chewables are prescribed online by a doctor, and they're made in the USA. Listen, Blue Chew gives you the confidence in bed every time, and your partner will love it, Lewis.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, I live off of Blue Chew now. I will not have sex without Blue Chew, and I have no performance issues. I am a Puerto Rican man. I am as ready as they come. But I will tell you right now, it has changed the way that I perform in bed. My girlfriend loves it. It is really, I'm telling you right now, it makes sex better in every way. I don't know if my dick is bigger, but it sure feels that way. I'll tell you that much. BlueChew.com is the website. And if you use the promo code BELIEVE, check this out, Mr. Bisping. This is the craziest shit ever. We're going to give you a free trial. You pay $5 shipping, but you get to try Blue Chew absolutely free. You fill out that form, you get your prescription. That's it. And then if you decide to keep it, you're done. You just get it mailed to your house every month. Nice and simple.
That is simple. It's very, very simple. So listen, if you want to enhance the bedroom performance, if you want to make your lady or your boyfriend happy, then please give it a shot. As Lewis said, just pay the $5 shipping. You get a free sample. That's BlueChew.com. And the promo code is BELIEVE. Make sure you use that code, please. Okay. All right. Back to the show. What else is going on in the world of mixed martial arts? Should we talk about this bare knuckle stuff at the weekend?
Sure.
That everybody seems to be talking about. And I said in the notes, I hate this. And I don't mean I hate it. I think we spoke about this before. I'm all for fighters having an outlet after the UFC and an ability to make money. I really am. I just wish we weren't taking a backward step, if I'm honest. Do you not feel like this is a backward step in the evolution of combat sports?
Backward step, it's hard to say. I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying with that. I think that we are, you know, as we sort of become more desensitized to violence, not only mixed martial arts, but like real extreme violence. Like, I didn't watch that New Zealand shooter video that came out. You know, that was a horrible thing. We didn't really discuss that at all, but I can't watch
No.
shit like that anymore. Like, when I was younger, I would like...
I couldn't watch that at all. I couldn't watch that until somebody actually sent me the video. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, whoa, Jesus Christ. And I turned it off. And then it hit the news in England. Anyone that's sharing that video, an immediate prison sentence, which is great because that shit shouldn't be shared. Yeah. Well, that's one headline I saw in the newspaper. Which you know, I mean, I get that people should not be mocking and making light of such a disgraceful situation. And fuck me, that guy's an asshole. But anyway, very depressing subject there. What were we talking about? Hold on. Oh, bare knuckle boxing. Right. Yeah. So I mean, as I say, I'm all for fighters making money. I really am. And I'm glad that they have an avenue after the UFC, after Bellator and things like that. So who am I to judge, really? I'm not. I'm just being honest. I kind of have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, if one of your, all right, if this is a good example. If your son wanted to do bare knuckle boxing, how much would you, because you said you don't necessarily want him to go down the path of being a fighter, mixed martial artist, but you would support him if he wanted to do that. Is there any chance you would support your son? He comes to you, hey, Dad, I got off a bare knuckle boxing fight. This is something I really want to do. I want to challenge myself. What do you say to him?
So that's a twofold answer. Because I said I wouldn't really support mixed martial arts, but I would say if he came to me and said he wanted to do that, I'd say, well, son, you're out of your mind. Let's focus on a mixed martial arts career or a boxing career or something with a little more legitimacy with, health practices, doctors, regulated commission, let's go down that route. But of course, the majority of fighters that are competing in these, my good buddy Kendall Grove, Chris Lieben, Artem Lobov, Jason Knight, these are people that aren't with the UFC anymore. So they don't have that option, so it's hard for those guys because fighting in the UFC or fighting in Bellator, for some of these guys, that ship has sailed. You know what I'm saying? So they do this because apparently the money's not bad. Yeah. I'd be very interested to know what those figures are. But apparently the money's not bad. So as I say, for those people, I think it's great that they still have that avenue to make money. For a young fighter like my son or a young aspiring fighter to have their goal be, I want to bare knuckle box, I'd say you're selling yourself short, man. I'd say that's where possibly you go at the end of your career. If you've got, you still want to make some dollars, get a quick payday. I'd suggest that for someone there, but not at the young, when you're in your prime, when you're starting out your career, your dream shouldn't be, I'm going to be a bare knuckle boxer in this rinky dink fucking promotion in Arkansas or wherever the hell it was. And the only reason that got so much press at the weekend is because there was no other UFC fights on. Right, there was no MMA that weekend. So the fight fans, the journalists, all the rest of it, they wanted to have something to report on. They needed something to write about. Right, They got to justify their checks to MMA Junkie or fucking SB Nation, Bloody Elbow, whatever it is. They got to have some news on there. Well, there's nothing to report about other than all the shit we just spoke about for the last hour. So I'm contradicting myself, but it gives them something to talk about.
I mean, look, I'm watching it, right? I'm watching these highlights from the Artem Lobov Jason Knight fight, and apparently, people were fucking going crazy. What a good fight it was! Very brutal. The one thing I gotta say is look, in the beginning, the UFC was way more dangerous than this. The beginning, the UFC won. Royce Gracie, 3 fights in one night. There was no gloves. There was no time limits. And they had more tools. They can do this to each other. And then they had more tools. So maybe this is the beginning of something that could be a sort of evolution. Maybe they design some sort of gloves. They take fighter safety into mind in some way or another.
I'm sorry. Listen, with mixed martial arts, with the UFC, obviously it started, you could bite, you could hit him in the groin, you could gouge their eyeballs, whatever you wanted to do, you could do it. Now, of course, they brought in the rules, they brought in the rounds, they brought in the gloves, and the unified rules that we have today. So they took things away from it, right, to make it more acceptable to the mainstream. Bare knuckle boxing, the title is in it's in the title. Bare knuckle boxing. It's boxing and it's bare knuckle. What are you gonna do to make it more acceptable? Because it's bare knuckle boxing. You can't take away the kicks, the punches, the knees, the biting, the groin strikes, because they don't exist.
Yeah.
And if you put gloves on them, it becomes boxing, which is already there.
Well,
okay?
no, because
so
let's say
nowhere to go. Skinny glove boxing. Sorry, that's just boxing. Okay, it's fucking boxing. If they change anything, it becomes boxing. Or if they throw kicks in as well, guess what? There's a name for that. It's called kickboxing.
Yeah, but if they designed some sort of glove that was just to protect the knuckles, right? Where it's almost like a 2-ounce MMA glove, right? Open finger.
Hold on. You mean a hand wrap? Which I think they already were. I know. It's called a fucking hand wrap. Okay. And then you put a little bit of tape on it to stop the wraps falling apart. And there you go. You got a hand wrap. It protects the hand. It protects your knuckles, but still does damage to the face. I think they already use that. Lewis, I get where you're trying to go. And I like the discussion, but there's nowhere for this to go. Bow, 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 bow.
Michael Bisping said it best. Well, what about this? I mean, technically, what about this? And I am just playing devil's advocate right now because fuck it. We're not talking about the fights this weekend. But technically, isn't there an argument to be made that mixed martial arts is more dangerous than bare knuckle boxing right now in its entirety? Because number one, typically it's a higher level martial artist who, is training harder, better training partners. I think the average UFC fighter can do more physical damage than the average bare knuckle boxer, regardless of their gear. And then there's all of the other variables and factors that come into play, like the fact that they can use every other tool. So I know, whereas it looks brutal, I think on the surface you see bare knuckle boxing, you see these guys that don't have hand wraps on. It's not necessarily, it's definitely less dangerous than old school UFC, without a doubt. And it's not like I watch these old school UFC tapes and I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking crazy. I think it's just sort of different. And I think maybe there is a place for it. I don't know. If somebody would have told you you're fucking crazy when you try to get into MMA, they'd be like, are you nuts, dude? It's human cockfighting. Are you out of your mind? And there was something there beyond just the money. There was, a chance to test yourself. It's something that you loved. So maybe there's guys that are doing it. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people did tell me I was crazy when I got into it. They thought I was out of my goddamn mind in 2003 when the sport wasn't what it is today. But what you were just talking about there, mixed martial arts is safer than boxing. Now, of course, MMA is a young sport. So the data isn't out there. In 30, 50 years, we will have all kinds of studies. But right now, on the surface, it looks like it's safer. Why? Because boxing, the gloves are bigger. So therefore, they take more shots to the head. Right. So they get concussed several times in a fight. They might take hundreds of blows to the head only. And the argument is with mixed martial arts, yes, the gloves are smaller, so we can take less shots. And when they hit the floor, there isn't the standing count. There isn't a count to 10 and you get back all delirious and concussed and can carry on the fight. In MMA, we can dive on you, boom, 1-2 more shots, the fight stops the fight. So the ref stops the fight. And as I said, the gloves are smaller, so you can't take as many shots. Right. But so you could say that bare knuckle boxing is safer because the gloves are non-existent. So therefore you can take less shots, but there's still the standing count and there's still the 10 count and there's still very limited options other than body shots to head shots. And I would say it's probably 8-2, even 9-1 to the head. I guarantee Artem Lobov and Jason Knight aren't out there fucking bobbing and weaving and working the body like a Mexican. Okay, that sounded racist.
Like a Mexican.
That sounded a little weird. But just to clarify, Mexicans are known for the body shots, okay? He's working the body like a Mexican, Holmes.
Yeah. At least you didn't say working the garden. Then it would have been really racist. So
exactly.
You got it.
Yeah, working the garden like a Mexican.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, when you kind of consider that, you're like, all right, well, it's not safer because they still get concussed and then they're getting back up and they don't have any gloves on. Look, you beat me in the argument. Fine, it should be. You heard it here first,
listen. That wasn't my intention to beat you in the argument. We're not trying to have an argument. I'm just trying to say, I just don't know how I feel about it, and I feel it's a step back in the evolution of combat sports. I do, and but listen, fair play to the promoter. He's making some money. Everyone there, I'm sure they enjoyed the fights, and I'm happy for the fighters to be making some money. I'm happy that there's life outside the UFC, life outside of Bellator, and ultimately, the more promotions like this, the better. It really is that, and that's what it comes down to. The more opportunities for fighters to go out there and make money, to entertain people and look after their families, I'm happy for. So I kind of take back everything I said. It's just, No, but you see my point. I definitely have a point here.
You do. Harrington,
I have a point.
In line with that, Michael, Artem Lobov was, I talked to him on Friday. He told me this was the most money he was offered by any promotion, Bellator, ONE FC. He did the rounds in Asia, he did the rounds everywhere else. This was the most money, and he got pay-per-view for this event, which he never got at any point in the UFC. So he thinks this is the most money he's ever going to make on a fight.
Yeah, well, he definitely didn't get pay-per-view, and he might have got pay-per-view on this, but, guess what? 100% of nothing is still nothing. So, I don't know what and he's not going to get pay-per-view in the UFC, right? And other people have had pay-per-view in the past. I think a good buddy of mine fought there. He got pay-per-view. And as I say, I'm happy for them, but I don't know if I necessarily believe what Artem said there, because if you listen to Conor, you listen to Dillon Danis, you listen to anyone that comes from that group, Dillon Danis owns Bellator. Dillon Danis is the highest paid douchebag in Bellator. They just come out with these things for hype. So if he is earning great money, I mean, that's good for him. I'm very, very happy for him. But always take it with a pinch of salt.
Well, he also told me he was having an issue with takedowns in the UFC. Anytime he would fight a guy, they would just shoot for him, and he never had the wrestling to fight it off. So this was an opportunity for him to just stand there, throw hands, be a tough SOB, and make some money. Can't get mad at that.
Hey, no, you can't be mad at that. And fair play to him for having the realness to recognize that and to admit that. And takedowns are a pain in the ass in the UFC. Listen, as I say, I'm all for fighters making money outside the UFC or outside the big promotions, but I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is, but there's just a little something of me that's a little uncomfortable with it. But still, as I say, who am I to judge? I had a good career. I won the belt, Not everyone can say that, So as I say, I'm happy for them. What are you staring at, Lewis?
I was just looking up. We were talking about fighter pay, and I saw something that said Dillon Danis is the second highest paid guy in Bellator. So I was just trying to confirm that. To each his own. Really? Because what do you want to do with your body? You want to do with your body. I just it is a little brutal. As I'm watching the highlights, as toward the end, I don't know if you actually saw the fight this weekend, but there's you see their heads. And they have all these nicks, like just little tiny cuts throughout their whole head, and they're bleeding from all these different places. It's pretty fucking brutal. It really is.
Yeah. So the thing is, with the cuts, there will be a lot of cuts, because anytime bone hits bone, it cuts the flesh. That's why elbows cut so bad. That's why knees do, and that's why without gloves on, you will cut more. I mean, to be fair, there's plenty of UFC guys that have looked like that after a fight. I mean, obviously both guys don't look good. I mean, Jason Knight he's not winning any fucking modeling competitions anytime soon. I don't think Artem Lobov is either. Might have actually done him a bit of facial reconstruction there, done him a favor. But, many guys look like that in the UFC. After my fight with Anderson Silva, I was bouncing around Rome, on a mini vacation with Rebecca, apologizing to everybody, every restaurant, every room I went in, because I had about 50 stitches in my face, 2 black eyes, bust nose, looking like an absolute mess. But we're staying in a 5-star hotel, having a nice little relaxing vacation. But every restaurant I walk into, everyone's looking, going, "Oh my God, look at this psycho." So then when we'd sit down and the waiter comes over, I'm like, "Oh, by the way, oh yes, handsome devil."
There he is.
Oh yeah, there it is. And a couple of days after that, it looked even worse. But yeah, the waiter would come over and I'd be like, "Hey guys, I just want to let you know, I'm a professional." Right? And I just wanted to get it over that I wasn't a thug that had a street fight. But then you sound like a bigger dickhead saying, "Hey guys, just want to throw it out there, I'm a professional, okay? That's why I look like this." Then you sound like an asshole. But still, I just want you to know I'm safe to be in this establishment, okay?
How long before or how long after the fight are you in physical pain like that? I'm talking about your face hurts, your knuckles hurt, your body hurts. How soon after a fight typically do you think you're back to what you would say is normal?
I mean, it all depends, but when it's bad, I remember when the second fight with Dan Henderson, I got caught with 2 big shots and he fractured my orbital, shattered my orbital, and my eye was swollen out here. I had a huge cut. I was a mess. But then I remember I was in Dubai about 3 weeks later, and Dana texted me, and he's like, "Are you good?" And because I know this because I'm doing a book right now, and I was chatting away and I was looking at some stuff. Dana offered me the fight with GSP. He said, "Are you good? Are you healthy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all healed up and pretty." And that was 3 weeks after that. So So
Yeah,
yeah, I
but-
mean, it all depends on the fight.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but for you though, you're tougher than the average guy, right? So you've done this before. You've gone through these motions. Would the average person say I'm all good and pretty, or would they still be like, holy shit, my body is destroyed right now?
I think most people would, to be honest. I think MMA fighters, not myself, all of us, we just kind of deal with the day-to-day injuries that happen in this sport. When you trained for that fight, you were, you what did you hurt your ribs, you tore your back or something, you were going to see a physio.
Shoulder, my hand, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way it happens all the time. And you just kind of get used to dealing with that. Right now, I'm in agony. I got to have neck surgery and fucking knee surgery, which I don't want to do because I've got a very, very busy few months coming up, but I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get it done. But the point I'm making is that every step I take, it hurts my knees, it hurts my neck, but you just learn to live with it. When you do such a physical sport, you get used to dealing with that and you just put it to the back of your mind, so you don't really feel it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. As I'm getting older, I just turned 37 last week, and like my left foot on the right-hand side, underneath the arch, there's just a pain. I don't know what it is. It's just in constant excruciating pain, and it has been for 2 years. And I think that's just life. That I just have a painful arch on my left foot and it fucking hurts, and that's just what I'm going to deal. That's a sad existence when you realize that that's going to be the rest of your life. You're dealing with this sort of like if I was 4, I would probably cry from the pain. That's how bad it is. Like it actually physically hurts. But that's like this is the first thing that I've sort of had that is like chronic, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, and I think that's just life now.
Yeah, I spoke about this before. Obviously, I'm 40 now, and I'm trying to get all these injuries dealt with. And I've said about it before, talked about it before, so I don't want to bore everyone. But trying to get my knee taken care of, my shoulders, the range of motion is so bad. I can't put a suit jacket on unassisted. That's fucking ridiculous. I got to sort my neck out. I'm doing a lot of stretching, trying to start yoga. I'm doing some yoga online on YouTube prior to walking into a fucking yoga studio and making a total bell end out of myself, because I will look like a fool. So I'm very self-conscious about that. So I'm doing some little stretching, some yoga routines. You'll be fine, dude.
You go to a yoga class. By the second or third class, you're going to be the fucking king of that class. Do some hot yoga. It's all hot women, first of all. Make sure your wife isn't around right now. Go to a hot yoga class. It's all fucking smoking hot chicks, and you see their ass sweat, like you're inches away from like a chick's ass is right in front of you, and you just see the sweat dripping down her ass crack. It's the best. There's nothing better in the
Sounds
entire
lovely.
world. It's unbelievable, okay?
It sounds lovely, but like I just don't want to walk in and like everyone's there and they're all tiny and skinny and they got the little fucking, they got the spandex on and they're really comfortable with themselves, and I'm walking, all right, I've never done yoga before. What's all this about? And you just make a fucking tool out yourself.
No, but you know your body though. You know your body, and you would I'm telling you, you'd also like it too. Hot yoga is pretty cool, dude. I've done it a few times. I've done it probably a dozen times or so, and I want to get back into it again. It's really good. What were you gonna say?
How hot are we talking? Because I see Joe Rogan talking about this a lot. And by the way, you're on Joe Rogan again recently. Look at Lewis doing the rounds.
I was.
Congratulations. But
a lot of fun. Love Joe.
He loves hot yoga. But how hot in relation to a sauna, shall we say, is the hot yoga? I don't think I could do 45 minutes of yoga in a sauna. I can't do 10 minutes in a sauna doing nothing.
It's 92 degrees to Bikram is 105, and I've done Bikram. 105 is the temperature roughly of a hot sauna. At first, it sucks, but your body adapts to it, and you start to get used to it. And each time you go, you start to be able to lean a little bit more into the pose. Your form gets a little bit better, and it's the same exact routine. It's very strange when you understand like mixed martial arts, where the idea is you're confusing your muscles and you're mixing it up, and you never get adapted to it. Hot yoga or this specific Bikram yoga is the same exact poses for 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute thing, right? And you would go like, well, technically, if I'm doing the same thing, wouldn't it just be easier after a while? And then you stop seeing the benefits. But the idea is you start to get deeper in the poses. You hold them longer. Your form becomes better and better and better. You tap into these little muscle fibers that you've never tapped into before. I think it's really cool. It's really cool, and it's hot at first, but if you get a little too hot, you take a sip of water, you sit down for a minute, you're fine. You're good. The shit I've seen you do, you're fine, dude. You've trained the craziest shit in the entire world. You're afraid of hot yoga. Michael Bisping, put it out as a headline right now. Afraid of hot yoga.
I'm not afraid of hot yoga, and I don't need telling what to do. If I'm overheating a little bit in the sauna, hold on, I stop doing it. I maybe take a sip of water, maybe pour a little water on my head. Oh, hold on. How about this one? Maybe walk out the room and take a little breather. Thanks, Lewis.
Nope, you
Thanks
can't do
for
that.
breaking that down.
You can't do it in Bikram. If you do that, they won't let you come back to the classes. If you keep on leaving the room,
Fuck
they won't.
Bikram. Bikram sounds like a sadist, okay? and I feel like I read somewhere that Bikram was like up on rape charges or something,
he was.
right? Yeah. He's like, no, you cannot leave this place now. I got you here. You want to leave my class? You're out of here. I'm going to rape you.
Let's
Rape
see.
you so good.
Lawsuits and sexual harassment allegations. Chaudhry has faced a number of lawsuits alleging sexual harassment, assault, racism, and homophobia as of January 2014.
Jeez Louise. The trifecta.
Yeah.
Rape, homophobia, and what was the third?
Racism. The worst
He's
of
a
all
piece
of
of
them.
shit.
The worst of all of them. Racism.
Racist, sexist, rapist. You know what I mean? I don't know why we're making fun of this. Sounds like this guy, I would give him the shame belt, but that is a little lighthearted for
If this was
the crimes he is charged with.
If this was 2009, I'd try to get him a tap out sponsorship.
If this was 2009, I'd be able to punch him in the face and everything would be okay. Unfortunately for Conor McGregor, we are not in 2009, so you can't go around punching Bikram or anybody.
5 women, though.
How long have we been going for?
We're over a little over an hour.
Go on.
We're good. Over 5 women, 5 women were suing Bikram Chaudhry with allegations. 2 lawsuits accusing Bikram of rape were filed in May 2013, in which Jane Doe alleges sexual battery, false imprisonment, discrimination. That's a little weird. Discrimination in the same exact charge. Like, how'd that happen?
Yeah. It's like, hold on a minute. I've been raped. All this bad stuff's happening to me, and I also feel like I was discriminated against.
I feel
okay?
like
It's
if I wasn't black, he would have raped me harder. I don't exactly know if that should be a charge, but how are you discriminated against in your rape charge? That makes no sense.
Because if you were, I don't know, so look differently, maybe he wouldn't have raped you.
Maybe.
But still, they're just trying to throw. I mean, because I'm assuming this Bikram guy is very, very rich, so that once again, anytime they throw that many charges, I smell a rat. I smell an ambulance chaser. I sense, somebody trying to extort, Jesus Christ, money out of poor old Bikram. All he wants to do is make women. Poor old Bikram. All he wants to do is make women sweat, lock them in a room. If they leave, they can never come back again. Okay, maybe a little rape here and there.
And actually, when you describe the rules of Bikram class, it does sound a little rapey. Listen, if you're gonna sit in this hot room, and if you leave, you're not welcome to come back. It's a little rapey.
That's You're brainwashing them. Anyway, all right. Let's move away from Bikram before Bikram sues us. I do not want another lawsuit. Okay, where are we? I mean, this weekend we got UFC. Was it 236? Big fights this weekend. 2 title fights.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was about to move away from this Bikram thing, but this is a quote.
Okay.
You have to hear his quote on the accusations. It's maybe the best quote I've ever heard from an accused rapist. He said, "Why would I have to harass women? People spend $1 million for a drop of my sperm."
I've heard this before. I have.
Wow.
People spend $1 million. Hey, listen.
I'm watching Bisping's mind go, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. All right, the fights.
No, I mean, listen, I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing bad to say about it. I mean, who knows? The guy's a very high opinion of himself.
He also left the country. Anybody? He left the country, and there's a warrant issued as of May 2017 for his arrest by a Los Angeles judge on the grounds that he left without paying any of a $7 million.
Has anybody paid $1 million for a droplet of his sperm? Or is that just what he, thinks women would pay? Because if that's what he thinks without any, proper valuation on historic values, then he's out of his goddamn mind.
The problem is,
and I'll say it right now,
if he's so disconnected,
Bikram's a rapist.
If he's so disconnected from reality,
allegedly,
that his argument is that women want me. maybe he doesn't understand even what sexual assault is. Like that's his even to know not to publicly say that. Like his statement on it is so fucking out there and meatheaded that you're like, all right, dude. Well, I don't even know what your outlook is on the world because you think it's okay to say that. He doesn't even know enough to lie and just go, oh, I would never do that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Let's move away. Let's move away because we're going to continue to offend people of all natures. As we're going to say, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier this weekend. We'll break that down on the next show. Adesanya, Kelvin Gastelum. Looking forward to that as well. We will break that down and give predictions on the next one as well. What else have we got, Louis? Should we just or have we got anything else that's blowing our minds right now?
Any big news? I mean, Rousey apparently done with the WWE as well. After WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
Also, Conor, as we were talking about Conor before, since he's retired, he has now teased a return to the sport of MMA, and he's also teased possibly a pro wrestling career as well. Right? He tweeted last night. What was the tweet?
It was congratulations to Becky Lynch, the first ever WWE champ, and then went on to say, I could never see myself working in this crazy business, or could I? And then like a winky face.
Yeah, well, I think we've talked enough Conor for this episode, but that's interesting. I didn't know you were born. Go on, Harrington.
Oh, I was going to say just a couple of big fights booked, and there was 2 former UFC champions debuting in another promotion. Either one. I just looked at MMA.
Well, I just looked at MMA Junkie, and the headline is "Watch John Jones choke out a fan who asked for it." Now I haven't clicked on it, and I see the picture. And it's John Jones doing a rear naked choke on somebody.
Have you ever been asked to hit or choke or any of those things? I'm sure fans all the time, right?
All the time. You can't go around doing it. You got to be careful because again, in this day and age, people file lawsuits, and like people always wanted to get kicked in the leg by me. Back in the day, they'd be like, okay, can you kick me in the leg? I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to do a shitty kick because then they're going to say, oh, he kicked you in the leg and it didn't even hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll kick you in the leg, but it's going to hurt. Okay. Now, this was back in my earlier days when I was a little more reckless. I would never dream of such a thing now. But I may have kicked somebody in the leg pretty hard once, and then the UFC was like, you can't do that anymore. It was in Belfast. There was an event in Belfast years ago, 2007, I think. And then Joe Silver and Dana and stuff were like, yeah, you got to stop doing that, bud. You can't go around kicking fans in the leg. I'm like, they asked for it. They went on like 20 times asking for it. So I fucking did it to shut him up. But they said, yeah, listen, they can go away and sue you after the fight.
As they should. You should know better. If you broke somebody's kneecap by kicking them in the leg, I almost feel like, you know what? That fan had no idea what they were asking for. They don't get it. I talked about this on Rogan, specifically about grappling with you. It's like you don't know until you're there. You're like, oh shit, no. It's not exactly what you fucking think. These guys hit harder and are much stronger and are much tougher than they come off because on television it looks easy. When you watch 2 UFC fighters who are slipping and bobbing and moving and weaving and they're using great foot movement, you don't realize how much energy is going into it, how much effort is going to it, how much explosiveness, how much their body has to be used to reacting in real time. And the guys that are really good make it look very, very easy. So for me, like in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'll take a leg kick. Leg kicks don't look like shit. On TV, a leg kick doesn't look like shit. I've had a female martial artist kick me in my leg and she floored me. It's a goddamn nightmare.
That's what I used to tell Callum when he was at school back in England. There was some kid kept picking on him. I said, just give him the leg kick. Give him the fucking leg kick, okay? Because it will hurt like hell. He'll fall on the floor. And if he does get up and go tell the teacher, there's no marks, okay? There's no bloody nose. There's no black eye. And the teacher thinks it's like nothing particularly bad and you might just get a little. Now, Callum, don't be doing that stuff in this school, okay? As opposed to a punch in the face, if you cut them and there's blood, that looks really bad. But a leg kick hurts way more. And you're right, Lewis. If you're that guy in Belfast, wherever you are, serve me with papers because I deserve to be sued. Okay? Miserable piece of shit.
I'm just saying, but you don't know what's going on. Like you think it's all fun and games. That happens a lot. Jim Norton used to do that on the Opie and Anthony show when they'd have fighters in. He'd have guys choke him out. He'd have guys kick him. He'd have do all that stuff. What happened with John Jones and the guy? Do you have the video? Can we see it for a second? Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything good could possibly come of it.
All right, let's take a look. So, turn it down a little. All right, so there's John Jones. He's going to put his arms around, under his chin. There we go. Is he really going to do it hard or just like...
He's going to put him out, likely. Good night.
He's putting a little pressure on there.
And now
the arms are going to go down. Arms are down. He's not out. But now he is. Oh, shit.
And then he cheated him. He just dropped him on his head.
God.
What a dick.
And walked away. I'm just sticking a camera in his face. Oh, and now he's back round.
Now he's raping him. Look, he's got his legs spread. Oh, John Jones, you animal.
Yeah. He's like, oh, God, if no one else was around, I would have had my wicked way. Oh, now they're going to hug and kiss.
Oh, there we go.
It's romantic. I tell you what, though, he choked him out unconscious. I mean, listen, they're all having fun, and the guy was a good sport about it, which I'm happy to see. But could you imagine if something went wrong? Could you imagine if he had like a piece of chewing gum in his mouth and choked on that because he was unconscious? You know what I mean? There's many things that could go wrong there. He could have had a fit. He could have had a seizure. Could have ended up dying. And John obviously is messing around. He's having a bit of fun with a fan that asked him. But I would not choke somebody out unconscious.
No, not at all.
Unless they really ask nicely.
I can convince Michael Bisping to choke me out unconscious. To be honest with you, everyone in the studio can. Next time he's here, he has a big mouth. You wouldn't have to ask me very hard. No. Okay. One time I'd be like, yeah, no problem. As long as we can do it on air. In fact, next time I'm in studio, I get to choke you out unconscious live on air. I would love it. Why not? I don't give a shit.
Down?
I'm down. I'm 100% down. But then I get to, what do I get to do to you? I don't know.
Well, I suggested that one. Suggest something back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could just try to choke you out unconscious too. If you let me sink it in, see if I could actually get it. Do you think I could get it? If you let me sink it in all the way, I'm talking about like fucking bicep, forearm, carotid arteries, nice and tight, cinched in completely. Do you think you could fight out of it? How easily do you think you could fight? I was like, cinched in.
Oh, so I can fight out of it.
You can fight.
Get it in. Right, you get it in as deep as possible.
Yeah.
And I have to try and fight. Oh, fucking, I'm in. I'm in.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in. I can't wait.
Oh, shit. I know this is going to end up with me. Here's the thing. He's going to act like he can't control himself for like 3 seconds, and then he's going to hurt me, and then it's going to be like, oh, look, we're just fucking around.
No, I've rolled with you. I'm very comfortable. It's okay.
I was injured. I was very injured when we rolled together, and I don't want to hurt myself anymore. I really, truly got 10% of what I have to offer.
Oh, God, no, I know. I'm sure it's a scary force, and the reality is going to scare me when the time comes. All right, let's hope we got some questions, because it's been a few weeks or a while or a few shows since we've done a show. So I'm assuming we have some good ones, and we'll start with the good ones and work down to the bad ones. That would seem the logical thing to do. Lewis?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to join the conversation, you can send us your video questions, your audio questions, and your regular questions via text at bympod@gmail.com. That is the email address, bympod@gmail.com. Shoot us your questions there or anything. If you have some comments, you want to send us some fan art, whatever it is, we always try to check it out, and anything cool we will read on the show. Also, every episode we have of this show is available on iTunes and YouTube. Make sure you guys go leave us a 5-star ranking and subscribe to our iTunes page, Google Play, or YouTube channel as well. And every episode of the show that we've ever done is available at gasdigitalnetwork.com. You get a 24-hour pre-release on most episodes, ad-free, uncensored, and more. Use the promo code BYM at gasdigitalnetwork.com for a 14-day free trial and a discount if you decide to keep the premium membership. Damn, I'm good at that plug. All right. Questions.
Incredible. All right.
I have a question for both of you guys, particularly Michael, but I'd like to hear both of your guys' opinion on it. I was noticed on the UFC YouTube page leading up to the fights on like the next upcoming card. They'll usually upload like a free fight of like, you know, like a fight for each member of like the main event. I guess to get people excited for the upcoming card.
Come on!
And, I always hear people in like the comments saying like, "Oh, you did him dirty," like for the guy that loses in the free fight, right? Because like you're highlighting one guy, but obviously another guy always has to be losing in those clips, and maybe he has a fight coming up or something.
Holy
and it kind
shit!
of
Just pause it for a second.
Fucking hell.
Just pause it. I mean, holy shit! This is not his fault. This guy's mentally handicapped, and I'm not going to blame him for having that be his life. Okay, the fact that he wasn't even able to point a camera at himself and formulate 40 or 50 sentences is commendable. This is your problem, Harrington, because you chose this and you put this on our show.
Yeah. And I said, start with the good, work collectively to the bad. Okay. He opens it up with this guy. We're 3 minutes in to this low quality. It's got to be 420. Okay. That is not 1080p, as we fucking know. We only delve into high quality streaming. And he's yet to ask a fucking question.
It's crazy.
I think I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, how do you feel that when the UFC show highlights of you getting knocked out? What do you think? What's your opinion on that? Okay. I've already extrapolated the question from his nonsensical ramblings. Okay.
Possibly.
We appreciate the question, but let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
Let's see if Bisping's got it right, if he guessed the question, because I think he's going to take a left turn. It's going to be nothing to do with it.
Disrespectful. And I was wondering what your guys' take on that was. I know that leading up to the Robert Whittaker Kelvin Gastelum fight, they showed Kelvin's fight with you, Michael. And I was wondering, does that bother you, or is that just kind of part of the game? Thank you for taking my questions. Love the show.
Michael Bisping said it best.
Wow, that was a lot of words, doggy.
Just a lot of words.
Can I give people advice before you answer it? Before you answer it?
No. I would love you to give advice. I would love you.
Before you guys send us a question, go write it out on Twitter. If it doesn't fit in the box, don't send it.
That's not a bad suggestion.
Yeah.
Or imagine it on Twitter. You know what I mean? It has to be clear, concise, to the point.
280 characters. That's it. That's all you get.
Not 280 words. Sentences. Question. Answer.
I don't even know what it was.
I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. You go out there, you fight. If you lose, then, then that's out there. The UFC are trying to hype up the next thing. And if you're on the receiving end of a knockout, how well, it is what it is. You can't get offended by it. Yeah, it does it can rub you up the wrong way a little bit when you're in an arena and on the big screen, boom, there's you at UFC 100 getting flatlined or something. And people look around and go, oh, that's you. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, at least I had the balls to step in there. Yeah. All good. It is what it is. You can't erase history,
Yeah, that's the other part is if anybody dude, you got knocked out, you're like, I mean, what you've done is what 0.00001% of the population would even have the balls to do, to get into a cage and fight, then to get to be so good at it, you get to be the elite level and the biggest promotion, and then you fight for a world title and you win that title. There's in MMA history, there's 40 people who can even say that they've won a title. In the history, 40 people in the world out of billions of people. That's it. It's such a small fraction. So for anybody to shit on it, sometimes we have to step back because we're guilty of it as well. How often does a TV show come out and I go, this fucking show sucks? There's a writer, there's a producer, somebody conceptualized it. We're all guilty. And I as I've gotten into entertainment more and more, I step back and I don't like to do that as much. I had a friend who was shitting on Chipotle. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I have a friend who was shitting on Chipotle recently, and I was like, you're just the same guy who's saying that your podcast sucks. You're that same guy right now because you're shitting on the queso at Chipotle, and you're like, dude, there's a guy who it's his queso. There was some dude who was like, I have the perfect queso recipe, and he was so happy to show everyone at Chipotle, and now some asshole on Twitter is just saying, the guy who makes fucking the queso sucks dick. And it's you have to step back sometimes and realize there is a human being there, and people put a lot into things. And a lot more that you don't see. You get to see the end product, and sometimes people don't appreciate the work that went into it.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say that when I first moved out here, I loved Chipotle. Okay, it was great until I started figuring out what good Mexican food was. Yeah. Now I think Chipotle sucks. Okay, the quesadillas are good. Okay, especially if you're slapping George Masvidal in the face with them. Right, the quesadillas are great. They're good. Not spicy enough though. Then I got into real Mexican food. I'm like, this is better. But still, if you're in a hurry, you're in a rush. Chipotle is not bad. And I do try and step away from criticizing TV shows on Twitter because you never know. My agent might call me and say, I got you an audition for this. You're like, fuck. I just went on a rant on Twitter last night about how bad it is, but all of a sudden I want to work on that show. So I keep that to myself. But you're absolutely right. There is so much goes into this stuff. People work their asses off. And then for people to just go online and talk shit about it, whatever it is in every day and age, I try and not put out too much negativity these days. If I've got nothing good to say about it, I won't say anything at all, unless it's something MMA related and I've got to give my opinion and I work as an analyst or on the podcast. That's what people come in for. But outside of that, I don't like to go out there on Twitter, on Instagram and just criticize things for the sake of criticizing. I mean, who are you helping there? Is your job, if your job is a TV critic or you're writing the section in a newspaper where you review shows, fair enough. Okay, but if not, then what are you doing? Just criticizing your stuff for the sake of it. If it's not your cup of tea, you don't like it, don't watch it. There's plenty of other shit on, you know. So there you go. Anyway, Harrington, please, totally redeem yourself. What is going on here?
Oh my God.
It's me, Matthew Bisping, from your secret family in Hong Kong. Your money stopped coming when you mentioned us on your podcast. Daddy, we are hungry. Send us money. My question to you and Lewis is, can we see more BJJ videos of Lucas and James? So this doesn't happen to me on the playground again.
Okay, whoever did that question, I gotta say, Harrington, what are you doing? You put on that other shite when you have that comedy gold. And by the way, you little shit, Bisping Jr., you ever come on fucking TV again and outing me like that? I know I stopped sending the money quite some time ago, but honestly, the exchange rates aren't favorable right now. I thought I sent your mother enough to be going along with. Okay, it's not my fault. Fucking the economy's so strong in China right now. The exchange rate is terrible. But the motherfucker's showing a picture of me getting knocked out in the background.
I mean, I've never watched anything better. We can end the show. The show can end. We're done podcasting. That's it.
It can't end.
We're never beating that. We're never beating it. We've peaked. Just now we peaked. That was incredible. Some dude sent, oh my God, I'm so happy right now. That was the funniest thing whoever that guy was, please send him a BYM mug, a BYM t-shirt, a fucking hoodie, a free Gas Digital membership for the next year, and some food for his child. He looked hungry.
Yeah. Very, very hungry. Send him some rice, please. But do me a favor. Send me that video because I want to share that. That's brilliant. Whoever sent that in,
that was awesome.
Bravo to you. Your kid is very, very cute, but that
so
is
cute.
Hilarious.
What was the guy's name?
God, I told that bitch to keep the kids offline.
It was.
What is going on?
It was Kevin Tan.
Kevin Tan. That's so funny, dude. Thank you for being a great sport. This is the other part. Like, we make these silly jokes, right? It's so awesome that, like, I mean, what a great sense of humor that guy has. We make these off-color jokes, and for people to completely get it the way that he got it, I love it. It really made me feel great that, to get that engaged and to think outside of the box like that. I thought that was awesome. So please, more questions like that.
What a talented kid.
Yeah.
What a talented kid as well. Delivered that script, didn't laugh. Maybe he was holding something up off camera for him to read because the kid was definitely reading, but he did a great job. So, and what a cute little kid as well. So that was awesome. That was funny. And then as he says, so this doesn't happen to me in the playground. And there's a picture of Kelvin landing that shot, which actually ties in perfectly to the question that was asked before that. I'm like, how does it make you feel? And then the next question comes on and there's me getting knocked out. I'm like, you asshole. You collaborated on this. You definitely did. But my God, what an awesome, hilarious, funny question. Well done. Bravo. And I feel like we should end the show on that.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Bisping. We'll be back Wednesday for sure. Likely Saturday. We're working out a third show. Maybe we'll do a pre-show for the pay-per-view this weekend. I don't know where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing. But yeah, guys, once again, go buy the special. Louis J. Gomez presents Louis J. Gomez. Review it on iTunes. I'm waiting to find out on the Billboard. I know I place in the top 10 billboards right now. So if you guys buy it on iTunes, that really helps. With that, I still don't think it's out just yet. But yeah, that's that.
Hold on. So to place in the top 10, how many you got to sell for that? I know that varies on a day to day because of how much traffic is being downloaded that week. But come on, give us an insight, doggy, into the millions that you're making from this.
I have no idea how many you got to sell. I know that Jim Brewer released a special the same week as mine, so I have to beat Jim Brewer this week on the Billboard charts. I was number 1 on iTunes for like 5 days, both with comedy movies and with albums. So you guys are the best, and especially in England too, where you guys, I believe I charted very well there as well. So just go fucking buy it. I love the fact that you guys are supporting. So I don't want to keep on just pitching this, but thank you very much if you have already purchased it and if you are going to purchase it.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Wednesday, so that'll come out either Wednesday night or Thursday morning your time. Good to be back, and thanks for listening. Take care.